And right now we're joined virtually by our guest in person of Dr. Adedayo Kayode, a political technocrat, to discuss some of the stories making the rounds on the papers this morning. Good morning, Dr. Kayode. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Morning.
Very well. Trust the week started off great.
Sure. And it's even going on a great note too.
Interesting. Let's delve into one of the major stories trending on the papers this morning. Federal government launches 5-month duty-free import window for maize, rice, wheat, and others. This is coming on the, they're talking about helping to manage the inflationary pressure and also make the economy more sustainable for Nigerians. Let's get your thoughts on this development by the federal government.
Yes. When I read the news last night, I called that news the shame of a nation.
How so?
The shame of a... How do I mean? Is it not a shame for Nigeria at this present time to still be importing maize, beans, rice, wheat? In fact, I saw another one this morning whereby yam was being included. Despite the large land, not just land like we have in the Sahel, but arable land, and we are still importing. And you are now saying to ease the pressure on the economy. How will that ease the pressure on the economy when you cannot import with your naira, but foreign currency? I mean, it's a shame.
Dr. Kayode, when you talked about land,
wait now.
Okay, go ahead.
Rather, you have been using a large amount of money that you're supposed to invest heavily in agriculture. You are using that money to be distributed to people. Of what economic importance is the money you are distributing to the people? Does it affect the economy positively or negatively? Because even all this money that you say you are distributing to the people, remember Better Educate, and even the lady that was in that office before her,
Sadia,
imagine that.
Yeah.
So these are issues that needs to be looked into. I mean, it's a shame and not encouraging, especially for people like us that knows the implications of food importation. Look at Russia. Look at, what I said, Russia, Ukraine. Despite the ravaging war there, Ukraine is still exporting wheat to Africa. Is that okay? What is disturbing us from investing heavily in agriculture? It's a shame.
Right. Talking about investing heavily in agriculture, it is even stated here, one of the things that they are talking about is how Nigeria has a huge land mass that should be used for cultivation across the country, and also noting that according to the quarterly statistics from the CBN, Nigeria exported large amounts of food and they spent over $2.13 billion to import food. Now, This has shown that Nigeria is not, it's a clear demonstration that the Nigerian government is yet to put the nation on the right path in terms of eradicating hunger by the year 2030, as stipulated by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal. Now, it's important to know that some of the factors that are affecting us in terms of, making our own space conducive for agricultural produce to thrive is inadequate infrastructure, insecurity, as well as climate change. So in your perspective, I would like to ask, what are some of the ways that these challenges can be properly managed, especially insecurity? We've seen a lot of farmers killed on their farmland. We've seen climate change, such as flooding, affecting produce. So what are some of the strategies that can be adopted to better manage these issues around agricultural sector?
My dear, let me quickly tell you this. All the challenges that you have mentioned are no challenges to us. It is only one challenge that we are having in this country, and it is connivance of the leadership against the people to be able to weaponize hunger, so that at the end of the day, the critical population will always be dancing to the tune and dictates of this so-called leadership. And when I'm talking about leadership, not just the political leadership, it is inclusive of religious, economic, traditional, and social leaders. The moment, and the solution to this is this: the moment the leadership of this country can make up their mind that, okay, our people have suffered enough, let us take them out of the doldrums, then you're going to see that Nigeria as a country, Nigeria as a people, will no longer experience hunger and penury. Remember, all the resources we have in this country. Now relate it to what Mahatma Gandhi said. Our resources are just good enough for our needs and not for our greeds.
Yeah, that's saying a lot. I mean, that's a safe place to land on this particular topic. Let's quickly take a look at something else that you find across the major dailies. Sarah already promised the viewers that we're going to talk about it. On the front page of the National Daily Trust, it says, "Man climbs mast, threatens suicide over hardship." Now, this happened in Abuja. What's your take on this story?
Yes, it's just one out of thousands that we see and know every day that commits suicide because of hunger, because of economic and social deprivations that Nigerians are experiencing. Mark you, individual responses and capacity to endure how do I put it now? Suffering. To endure suffering differs.
Yeah.
Okay? The level to which we can cope with problems within our various environments also differs. So you can now see some people committing suicide, while you see some people engaging in so like prostitution. Some other people going into kidnapping. Some other people going into armed robbery. Okay? So all these things are the concomitant effects of what I said earlier, connivance of the leadership against his people.
Right. You know, talking about this hardship, Nigerians are still trying to come to terms with the current reality. And yesterday we got another update in terms of the petrol price, of which report has it that some parts of Abuja, petrol is now sold at 1,000 naira per litre. In Kano State, as at yesterday, it was about 800. Some parts of Lagos, 720, 750, and what have you. And this morning, we're seeing that NNPCL and IPMAN are blaming the private depot as well as logistics for the scarcity of this petrol that has even been increased. And Huriwa has come out to, you know, accuse NNPCL of incompetence, profiteering, asking the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to save Nigerians from misery. Now, it's as though we are trying to come out of one, and as we're trying to come out of one, another one is coming up. They put up this duty-free import window for 150 days to ease inflation. But look at now, fuel has been increased, and it's as though we are going out in a back and forth. Let's get your thoughts on this conversation, particularly in regards to the fuel situation, petrol.
Now, let me tell you this. Those people calling Bola Ahmed Tinubu to come and rescue them, they are not yet serious. Why am I saying this? Why am I saying this? Evans will only help those who help themselves. Not until when the people have realized that they have to release themselves.
Are you there, Dr. Kayode? Okay, I think
from government, all these strategies of government in making them poor, honestly speaking, nothing will be done by the government. Nothing. People must follow what Mahatma Gandhi said. I will be referring to that late old man. This morning, as long as you are bringing up all these issues, people will have to themselves release themselves through demonstrations, through agitations, through civil disobedience.
Dr. Kayode, if I would interrupt you for a bit, if I got you correctly, you're talking about demonstrations. Dr. Kayode, 1 minute. You're talking about civil disobedience, demonstrations. Isn't that first of civil disobedience is going against the stipulated laws? We've seen cases where people go about having peaceful demonstrations and they're being attacked.
I will disagree with you. The Constitution allows it. Democratic tenets allows it. The only thing is you have to be strategic so that you don't destroy public properties. For instance, let 200,000 Nigerians park their cars on major streets. Let 2,000 Nigerians go and
we have a bit of a challenge with the network.
National Assembly. Let 2,000 Nigerians go out there with placards and occupy Aso Rock, saying, "Ebi Pawa O." You are there to ensure.
Dr. Kayode, I would like to ask you, how,
the security
Dr.
and
Kayode,
economic
for a minute, I would like to ask you,
people.
How do
and
you
not for
convince, Dr. Kayode, please hold on for a minute. How do you convince Nigerians, yes, that are tired of the current economic reality, we agree, to go out and have peaceful protests when over the years we've seen outcome of some peaceful protests that eventually turn very violent and people lose their lives, get injured? How do you now convince them to, you know, go and embark on a peaceful protest without it also being hijacked by hoodlums?
Yes, this protest will have to be planned, executed, and controlled by the educated middle class, by the people that knows how to ensure that, by the people that knows how to control the peasants, and getting them educated on the essentials of peaceful demonstration. I wouldn't support violent demonstration. But also mark you, J.F. Kennedy said, and I quote, "Those who make peaceful change impossible will definitely make violent change inevitable."
Okay, the network is quite unfriendly.
Yes,
Those,
it is.
those who make peaceful change impossible will make violent change inevitable.
Right.
Well, we don't preach violence, yeah. Like this man who is threatening suicide, that's a form of protest.
How about people committing suicide? Do you know how many people are dying every day because of lack of drugs, because of lack of health facilities, because of hunger, because the children cannot go to school, because there is no accommodation? Go to under the bridges. These are issues. People are dying, but you are living in affluence. You are not even buying expensive cars these days. You are not buying private jets. And you are spewing this to the faces of the people. And you want the people to keep quiet. Have you forgotten that in Yoruba they say,
what does that mean, Dr. Kayode?
That is when you pursue a goat to a blockade. Definitely the goat want to escape. If we turn at you, that is when you will know that the goat can bite.
Right, but you know, I know at this point you already know I want to tell you that we've run out of time, and you tell me that we would borrow or find this time, but we will definitely
we got to have a 1 hour session on what we are experiencing in this country.
We will definitely come up with that.
Mark you, a hungry stomach has no ears. Sure, you know that. A hungry stomach has no ears.
That's why they say an hungry man is an angry man.
It's an angry man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Adedayo Kayode, for joining us this morning and for sharing your thoughts with us on these very important topics this morning. It's been a delight. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.
And you
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
Bye.